Hi folks, this is Praveen here. In case you're here in my YouTube channel for the first time, I speak about lessons that I learned from non-fiction books, the lessons I learned being a marketer, a content creator, and pretty much everything that I'm learning, observing from my journey of being, a marketer, content creator, or reading non-fiction books. So today we're going to be talking about how I plan my day, right? So it consists of some interesting elements that I've drawn from books, some things that I've tweaked over years. So let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back. So as I told, we're going to be talking about how I plan my day, right? So the planning for my day doesn't start from the time I wake up. It usually starts when I hit the bed, right? And the reason I say that, you ask anyone in the world who wakes up pretty early, right? They wouldn't come and tell you that waking up early is the difficult part, but the part that's really difficult is going to the bed. It's so more often than not, I've been in this journey where I go to bed probably 9:30ish. I keep browsing YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, the plethora of social media apps, only to realize that, oh my god, it's suddenly 11:30, 12 in the night, and waking up at 5:30, or heck, even 6:30 becomes very difficult. So my day starts by getting to bed at 9:30 the previous day, right? So no phones inside my bedroom and things like that. So get to bed at 9:30 and boom, by 5 I'm up. So usually the first hour of the day is what I call it the most creative and the me time that I have. And over the past two and a half years is when I've started experimenting with this routine, is my me time. I've done kind of very varied projects, very creative things during this time of 5 to 6 is when, for example, I wrote for 70 continuous days about this thing, what I call as Milli Matters, where I took a marketing concept, dissected it with an example in under 150 words. So I did this for 70 continuous days, and typically the time I did this was between 5 and 6 in the morning. And there's one more interesting project where this was called Ship 30 for 30, where I wrote with probably around 300 writers across the globe from varied backgrounds, right? I had economists I had worked with. We had some people who were doing some sex work. There were people who were doing some incredible work in the field of education. There were incredible YouTube creators, and the concept was very simple, right? Wake up in the morning, ship an essay in 150 words about things that you love. I wrote about marketing, at psychology, and again I did this in the 5 to 6 block of my day. And off late I've been reading a lot, and that's what you're seeing in this YouTube channel. So I talk about the books and the lessons that I'm learning from these books. So 5 to 5:45, 5:50 is the time I read, and the second hour of the day after I wake up is dedicated to my physical training, right? So I travel to a place nearby to my home to kind of train in the morning 6 to 7, which is usually Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, and Tuesday, Thursdays and Saturdays I play badminton, again 6 to 7. So the first 2 hours of the day is what I call the me time, right? So typically my day consists of 3 various blocks, right? The me time, the family time, and the work time. So the first 2 hours of the day is just me time, right? I do things that I find very creative or I draw joy from, and I do some physical training to keep myself just agile and moving. The 7 to 7:45 block is usually my first block of our family time, where me and my wife, we usually talk about stuff. If it's a Monday, we plan every single meal out there. What are we having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And probably when we were working from home, we also plan our evening snacks, and we do this for pretty much all the Mondays. On other days, if we have something to discuss about our financials, if we have something to plan for our vacation, this is the time we usually do that. If not, we sit together, watch a rom-com, or some kind of a film and things like that, or a music video that we have recently bumped. So that's the first block of our family time. 7:45 to 8:30 is my meal prep time, right? So usually that's when my wife goes to get ready for her office or work from home. For the past 2 years, I usually cut vegetables, make all the preparations ready for our breakfast and lunch. And then 8:30 to 9 is my social media time. So you would see that the first two and a half hours, I never intentionally get to my phone at all. So usually my phone is in the loud mode, in case of any emergencies, my parents or anyone of my friends could call, but I make it a point to not check messages just a disclaimer, I haven't been largely successful. I just sneak in phone in the first hour of the day on few days where I've been really anxious, but most days I try and not touch my phone till 8:30, right? So at least not check social media until 8:30. And 8:30, 9 and 9 to 9:30 is usually when I get ready for office, have my breakfast and scoot to office. So 10:30 is when I start my work. So 10:30 to 6:30 in the evening is what I call the block hour, work hours, the work part of my day. And I try and follow a few techniques that have helped me kind of stay focused at work, right? And this is something that I read in this book called Make Time. And these were written by people who created the Gmail app and all these YouTube app. They talk about this having this thing called highlight of the day. So I usually plan my highlight of the day, one big highlight or one big thing that I want to establish at work at the day. It could be, let's say, planning for this quarter, or it could be as simple as writing a blog post, or it could be coming up with a campaign idea or things like that. So I usually block usually 90 to 120 minutes of deep work time where I switch off all notifications and I'm away from my seat, going in a corner of an office and working. Yes, I have started going to office, so in case you're wondering, that's one technique that has hugely helped me. And second thing that I try and follow on days where I feel really lazy is the Pomodoro technique, right? So where you work for bursts of 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and do that 4 times before you take a longer break. So these are 2 techniques that I follow that have really helped me keep focused during work. And then after the work time, I come back home by around 7:15, and then I have a combination of family time where we cook our dinner together, and then I have my own me time where I check social media, or if I feel like writing something, I write, or if I'm binging some YouTube videos to get some ideas, I do that. And usually wind down with a few stretches. Since I've worked out in the morning, there's some soreness, so I usually stretch, have a shower, and get to bed. So what you would see across when I plan my day is I try to have at least 3 hours of me time, at least 2.5 to 3 hours of family time. And as you would see, work takes up a major chunk of my time because of commute, working there and things like that. And work currently demands that kind of rigor. But what I've realized doing these routines is a couple of things, right? So there is no thing is perfect routine, right? So but the only thing is there's no perfect routine, but you need to be in control of your day, right? So I've realized over time that hey, I enjoy doing creative things. I enjoy spending time with my family, my friends on weekdays, weekends, and I enjoy cooking and things like that. So the best routine is the one that is part of your identity and that you enjoy doing. Because a lot of friends have gotten back to me saying, hey, why don't you try remote work? It makes you more productive. Hey, why don't you kind of try and work out from your own home? There are a lot of virtual trainers that are available out there. But I genuinely enjoy going and meeting people at my the place that I work out. It's a small community that I work out with. These are really highly motivated people, so I enjoy the small chit chat that happens and things like that. And I really enjoy the people who have told me that probably you should have a cook. It saves up roughly 2 hours of my day with respect to meal prep. But it's the activity that that makes me really mindful and grounded, right? So I'm cutting vegetables slowly one after the other. I feel really good about doing that, right? So if a habit or a routine is not part of your identity and you're doing something because someone is asking you to do or forcing you to do, I can give it to you in writing that you're never going to be following it. So do things that you really enjoy. And that brings me to the second part, right? So habits, routines are about continuous tweaking, right? So I'm very new in the YouTube journey. You would see that I have a small table in my library in the front. I wish I could just pan out and show the camera around you, but it's quite messy to say the least. But I'm making the best of what I have now. Eventually, it's about just tweaking and optimizing routine to find your best sweet spot. So don't be hell-bent on starting with the perfect routine. Start with one thing, because this is again something that I read in James Clear's blog, who wrote Atomic Habits, where he says too much of good intentions is going to cause a lot of harm than good, right? So you can't wake up one day and say, hey, today I'm going to be waking up at 5 a.m. I'm going to be doing meditation, I'm going to be reading books, I'm also going to be productive at work, and then stuff like that. So when you plan your routine, take it one step at a time, master one habit before you move on to the other, right? So that's the second biggest takeaway I want you to take away, that good routines and good habits are built with time. So give yourself enough time before before you take before you take a call saying, hey, this isn't working out for me, or this is not for me, and things like that. The third thing is, it's okay to miss a day of your routine, but never miss 2 days continuously. Again, this is a great quote that I took from Atomic Habits by James Clear, where he goes on to say, hey, if you build a habit, if you want to be consistent, it's okay to miss a day. All of us have our off days, but even then try to do a minimum. I follow this in my workout, right? So I miss a day of my workout playing badminton or the functional fitness. I've tried to walk around my apartment for 45 minutes. So I pick up a call, and then and while I was working from home, if there is a lengthier call, I try to be in a plank for like good 2 to 3 minutes before I get off the plank, again get in a plank, and things like that. So do these small things and never miss 2 days in 2 days continuously. The reason being, good habits make time your ally, right? With time you will get better. With time things will start showing results. So those are 3 main takeaways that I would want you to have with respect to your routine. Do things that you really enjoy, never miss 2 days continuously, and then ensure you give your habits enough time. By doing these 3 things, what you're effectively doing is you're taking control of what your day looks like. You're never drawn by things that need your attention immediately, need your attention urgently, and things like that. By the time you start your day, by 8:30 or 9 or whatever time you start your day, you've already established or done enough things that give you joy, inspiration, and the right kind of energy. So that's what I mean that's what I want you to take away, and I hope I've driven home a point. Sorry if I was a bit preachy. And if you enjoyed this video, do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until I see you next time, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off. Thank you, folks.